Marvel fans assemble. Have you ever wondered what it's like to step into the boots or maybe the capes of your favorite superheroes only to find out you're also competing against them? Welcome to Marvel Rivals, the game where alliances or shattered powers collide, and yes, there's a lot of yelling MDA. One True Spider-Man. Today we're diving headfirst into Marvel Rivals, a third-person action shooter that's making waves in the superhero gaming genre. Is it the game you've been waiting for, or just another flashy title with a licensed IP? Stick around because we're about to cover it all. Here's what. We're tackling in today's video the gameplay mechanics that make or break Marvel Rivals, how the characters feel in action, because you know not all heroes are created equal. The art style and performance, does it pop or does it flop? And of course the verdict, should you pick this up or wait for A. Discount. Without spoiling anything, the premise of Marvel Rivals is straightforward. Heroes and villains alike are pitted against each other in a high-stakes battle for supremacy, but it's not just about good versus evil. There's a twist that makes every match feel personal, and no, the twist isn't that. Thanos opens a juice bar though, wouldn't that be something? Let's talk gameplay, because at the end of the day, it's what truly matters, right? Marvel Rivals combines third-person shooting with power-driven combat, giving you an arsenal of abilities that feel unique to each hero. Combat is fast-paced, chaotic, and at its best thrilling, flying as Iron Man web. Slinging as Spider-Man or smashing everything as the Hulk feels satisfying, but there's a learning curve. Mastering combos and team strategies can take time. The best part, the synergy pairing heroes' abilities can lead to some jaw-dropping moments. Imagine Captain America's shield ricocheting off walls, while Black Widow takes down enemies with pinpoint precision. Now let's talk characters. Marvel Rivals boasts a roster that's pretty stacked. Heroes, anti-heroes, and villains alike, but not every hero feels equally powerful. While Doctor Strange can bend reality, some characters feel like they're bending. Under pressure balance is a bit of an issue. Playing as Thor might feel like wielding the power of a god, but playing as Hawkeye sometimes feels like, well, holding a fancy bow. Visually, Marvel Rivals is a treat. The art style strikes a balance between comic book aesthetics and cinematic polish environments. Our detailed battles are vibrant, and the lighting effects during combat are spectacular, but does the performance hold up? Well, mostly on next-gen consoles, it's smooth sailing at 60 FPS, but on older systems, you might run into the occasional frame drop, just enough to remind you your console isn't quite immortal. The multiplayer mode is where Marvel Rivals really shines or crashes, depending on your experience teaming up with friends or going head-to-head with strangers. Can be exhilarating. The game rewards creativity and how you use powers, and every match feels slightly different. But what happens when the novelty wears off? Is there enough depth to keep you coming back, or does it risk becoming repetitive? Stick around for the verdict. Marvel Rivals is available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. There's no last-gen support, so PS4 and Xbox One players will have to sit this one out. For accessibility, the game does a decent job with customizable controls and colorblind options, but it's nothing groundbreaking. If you're a new player, there's a tutorial mode to ease you in, but fair warning, it's more like a crash course than a masterclass. Let's address the elephant in the room. Microtransactions. While Marvel Rivals doesn't shove them in your face, there's a clear push towards cosmetic purchases. Costumes, emotes, and even some alternate animations are locked behind a paywall. And before you ask, no, you can't pay to get the Infinity Gauntlet. Trust me, I checked. Puzzles and environmental interactions add a layer of variety to the gameplay, whether it's solving traps in ancient ruins or using the environment to gain an edge in combat. These moments are refreshing. Some of the puzzles are genuinely clever, making you feel like a genius when you solve them, and who doesn't? I want to feel like Tony Stark every now and then. So is Marvel Rivals worth your time and money? That depends on what you're looking for. If you're a Marvel fan who loves fast-paced action and chaotic multiplayer, this game will hit the mark. But if you're expecting deep storytelling or perfectly balanced gameplay, you might walk away wanting more. Let's break it down with some pros and cons. Pros: visually stunning with a true comic book feel. Unique abilities for each character make gameplay dynamic. Great multiplayer moments with friends. Cons: balance issues between heroes. Microtransactions might irritate some players, can feel repetitive after. Extended sessions. Let's talk customization, because nothing screams superhero like adding your personal touch. Marvel Rivals allows you to tweak your hero's abilities and loadouts, making every match feel tailored to your playstyle. Want to be an unstoppable tank? Beef up Hulk's durability. Prefer quick, precise strikes. Enhance Black Widow's stealth moves. The system encourages experimentation, and that's where the fun lies, until you realize your perfect build isn't so perfect when someone's Doctor Strange's teleporting rings around you. Next up, the sound design. From the swoosh of Thor's hammer to the crackle of Iron Man's repulsors, the audio is as epic as the visuals. And let's not forget the voice acting. It's solid across the board. Hearing quippy one-liners mid-battle feels very true to the Marvel Universe, although fair warning, if you're not a fan of snarky comments, Spider-Man's constant banter might start feeling less friendly neighborhood and more please stop talking. The game's maps are sprawling and diverse, taking you from urban skylines to mysterious underground layers. There's always something to see, whether it's hidden collectibles, or environmental cues that hint at the story. The best part, verticality. Flying heroes like Iron Man and Thor can explore areas others can't, which makes switching characters feel fresh, but be warned, some maps are so detailed you might get distracted admiring the scenery right before Anne. Enemy smashes you into it. One of the big debates about Marvel Rivals is whether it shines brighter in competitive multiplayer or cooperative play. Competitive matches are pure chaos, and the best way heroes clash, alliances are shattered, and there's always that one Hulk who spams the same move over and over. You know who you are in co-op teamwork. Take center stage strategizing with friends, combining powers and taking down epic bosses together. Can feel incredibly satisfying, and this is a big but, if your team isn't communicating, it can turn into a mess faster than Quicksilver. Running a relay race, Marvel Rivals has laid a strong foundation, but its future depends on how well it evolves. The developers have teased upcoming content, including new heroes, maps, and events. If they keep delivering fresh updates and listen to community feedback, this game could become a long-term staple, but without consistent support, even the mightiest superhero games can lose their luster. So will they keep the momentum going? Time will tell finally. Let's talk about fan service. Marvel Rivals is brimming with nods to the comics and movies, iconic costumes, memorable locations, and Easter eggs galore. Hardcore fans will have a field day spotting all the references. But it's not all perfect. Sometimes it feels like the game tries a bit too hard to remind you it's a Marvel game, like we get it. Stan Lee would have loved this now. Let's tone down the constant callbacks. That's it for our review of Marvel Rivals. What did you think? Are you planning to suit up, or are you holding out for the next big superhero game? Before you go, check out our review of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, another action-packed adventure game that might just be your next obsession. Click on the end screen to dive into the treasure hunting madness.